So I've looked a little bit at the program Vectary. So I'm going to really quick share screen. So pop that up. So I'm signing into it using my school Google account. And there's templates, there's help thing. I really think we should probably go through the help. We don't need a discount, but we're gonna try and mess with it a little bit. So this was the I started doing one of the tests, and I'm gonna pop into the program. And at first, I mean, this is brand new. What's this? This browser's authorize this browser. Skip the tour. So at first, we're going to have to get used to this. This is a different kind of program. Let's play with some basics. We'll start with the box. And still rotation. I hold down the left mouse key to rotate around. Right allows me to move the object up and down. And then arrows move it in space. Control Z still undoes. Boxes are going to expand or contract. So we can mess with this a little bit, and we can start to see what can we do there. If I go into the edit, it's going to ask to bake. It's going to make it into mouse wheel to zoom in, and then I can go into individual things, and I can really start to play around with these shapes. So I think that for the first thing I'd like you guys to try and do, since this was not our plan at all, is to go in and say, hey, what can I actually do with this program? What all will it let me do? What can I kind of play with? Play around with some of the tools, play with some of the stuff in there, and just kind of see exactly what this is gonna let me do and make. That's gonna take you guys some time. So this week, what I would like you to do is instead of building a something specific, I'd like you to mess with the program, make something, and then save that, send that to me, so that we're starting into 3D sculpting. It's going to be it's not exactly what you were hoping for, and I want to apologize because it's not Zbrush, and it's not what you guys signed up to do. So I want to make sure that you understand we're still going to get a good grade. We're still going to work through this, and we're still going to learn. And we're going to understand what it means to be a 3D sculpting. We're just going to do it in a different manner. Instead of making a character, we're going to try to maybe design a something. And that's something we might try to make a character that's maybe blocky or kind of more geometric, or you might make a vehicle, or you might make like a building, or you might make a wall with windows, or whatever we can do. So we're either going to make, and I think more than anything, we'll make an environmental piece or an object that can fit into our kind of ideas. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. This week, so today and Wednesday, between today and Wednesday, I want you to play with the program a little bit. Wednesday, I want you to come back with some questions, and we can sit down as a group and we can try and solve them. And we'll just kind of mess with it. Then I'd also like us, by the end of class Wednesday, what we're going to do is we're going to walk away with hey, this is what I think I'm going to try to make. And we'll build from that. So what we can do, so these are some 3D prints. And this program reminds me of the program that I used, to create these guys. Actually, I've got a camera designed to do this. I don't know why I'm not doing that. Sometimes I forget I brought extra technology. So, see how this looks? So this, you can see where pieces were too small and it failed in the print. I even have supports in here. So these are supports, but these parts in here, these little piping parts, I made way too small so that when I went to 3D print them, it didn't work. I do have, and at an angle you can see, I have a groove pattern design I could lay in. I could make this little tracking pattern around. So here are the pipes, and they printed when they had stuff around them, but when they were free, oops, I just broke one off. When they were free floating, they didn't print well at all. But this is, you know, this could be a future home hallway where you come through, and then this open space would be where you would go into a room. And this would be doors or portals. To be honest, I made these things for Star Wars because I thought they'd make cool little little Star Wars places for my nerd stuff. Inside of here, inside this panel, let's see if I can get a good angle. Maybe if I turn off one of those two spotlights, there you go. I have like little, tilt it right. I have little inset pieces. I have grooves. I have grooves in the flooring. I have grooves. So I've added stuff to it. So this is an environmental piece. It's obviously not a character. It's not a figure. It's something that we would habitate in. So I think with the design of this program, we're probably going to do stuff like that. But we're not gonna limit our imagination, because way over there, gotta get my hand right there. Boop! I have a bobblehead Mr. Potato Head Stormtrooper from Christmas, and he's pretty blocky. So we could make something like that. We could make something not as detailed as the artist that we were talking to, but we're gonna make something happen. So on that note, what I'd like you guys to do is if you write down some notes and ideas, if you type up some stuff like, hey, I think I'm gonna try to make this, you play in the program, even if you play in it and it's messy, what you play with, save a picture. If you do a screenshot, you can do a print screen, hit the print screen button and save that, and then send that to me, because that's your planning and your building phase. By Wednesday, we'll have an idea maybe. This is what we're going to try to make. Sound good? Mm-hmm. So that is our plan for right now. And we're going to be cool going forward with whatever happens. And I will make sure to take care of you guys. The only ones that are going to hurt most is the seniors, because they can't. Next year, Kennedy, I mean, if we come back this year, we'll get to play with we'll get to play with Zbrush, and we'll make whatever we can make in Zbrush. But if not, then as a senior, you can take the class and you'll have an idea going into it what you're going to get to. Mm-hmm. Whereas Bionica would have to fail, come back, or once she gets to college, if she has Zbrush at her college, she can be like, "Hey, Mr. Abel, I'll teach you over the internet, B."
Yeah. Lovely. Do you think we're gonna go back to school?
So tonight at midnight, we are shelter in place goes into effect, where you're supposed to stay home and not kind of mess around to help slow down the contagion. I think with that happening now, we will definitely not be back before spring break. Right. There is 5 states whose schools have basically said we're not coming back. K through 12 not coming back. And I think with that, there's a good chance we may not be back. Last week, not last weekend, a week ago, the governor kind of made a pretty clear statement that there's a good chance he might close schools. The president said no state testing this year. The which will affect some, it'll affect some juniors, it'll affect the sophomores pretty hard. But our governor has to go to our legislative branch
Mhm.
and he has to ask them to suspend testing for the state for the year.
Mhm.
So,
So does that mean we would take it next year?
so that means that if you had to take a state test,
Mhm.
instead of taking, you would have to take it next year. And I can't say what that would look like. If they're going to do, like, you could take it in the fall and the spring, or if they're just going to do, okay, we'll just reset and do it all one time.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry about it. It'll be taken care of somehow.
I mean, I'm fine. I just have one
Yeah.
test to take. I have government, and that's,
Yeah. So, are
it's
you doing
not
government this year?
this year.
Yeah. Are you doing it senior? Yeah.
And this year, yeah.
So make sure you take good notes, because you're going to want to review it before the test.
Right. That's cool.
B, do you have any questions for us? See if she chats us anything. She says no. All right then, ladies. So I wanted you to say, I have gone through the program. Sign in with school Gmail, because I don't seem to get as many ads through school Gmail, and play with it. See what we can do. It's not a super sophisticated program, but it's not a cheap program either. There's some things we can do. We're definitely not going to upgrade to premium, because forget that noise. If we could find a way to send you computers, I would. Otherwise, we'll make it happen. Here's another choice that I want you to think about between now and Bianca asked me a question about graduation. I'll answer that in a sec. Between now and Wednesday. Someone said to me, well, why don't you just do a lecture class? And we could, if you guys want to, we could do a little stint where we watch as a group I have some video stuff we could watch about Zbrush, and we could see some of the things, and we could try to catch a live sculpting going on. I know that Twitch has some, and I know that some of the artists broadcast in a couple different ways. We could look at some of that. And basically, we could talk about, hey, what tools do we think they're using? How do they do that? How would you handle that? We could do it that way. If this program frustrates you guys and you're like, Mr. Abel, this is not going to work, then I'm not going to do welcome to ZBrush. Here's a lesson. I'm not going to do it that way. I'll keep it so as long as we're learning and we're picking up stuff, I'm cool with it. It's just not the learning we wanted to do. So do I think they're going to cancel graduation ceremony? As of this time, as of my time in the building last week, we were not. It was not a plan to cancel graduation. But if this goes on for a while, the longer this goes on, the more likely that scenario happens.
What about prom? Is that canceled?
As of right now, no, it's not. But with the idea that you can only have 10 people at a place at a time, prom would be really spread out in a parking lot. So I don't think, again, the longer it goes on, the chance that will happen, that prom would be canceled would be there too.